everybody. My name is Bob Brucker. I'm the founder and president of AgeWise Colorado, and Barbara Boyer is our executive director, is on the call here today. Thank you all for joining. And I'm going to start with just a very brief introduction to who we are and what we're doing, and then we'll get started. This is our 42nd webinar that we've held since we launched this service in July of 2021, so 2.5 years. And we really didn't start the webinars until September of that year. So we're going to be talking about getting around without driving today. So we have three folks from three different agencies, organizations, talking about their particular way of providing transportation in their area. Today's panelists are Theresa Rinker, who's the manager of market development and communications at Denver RTD, Lisa Blitzer, who is the director of operations at Via Mobility Services, and Dan Blankenship, who's the CEO of the Roaring Fork Transportation Authority. And we'll be listening to those folks in that order. Briefly, AgeWise Colorado is here to serve aging Coloradans and caregivers of today and tomorrow. Our mission is pretty simple. We are the connecting point between what we think is about 3,000 different service providers in the state of Colorado who help with in any way with aging, and the 3 million Coloradans who are over the age of roughly 40. This is just a screenshot from our homepage of our website. So if you haven't been to the website, please check it out. And we always appreciate feedback on what do you like, what don't you like, those kinds of things. And then this is our webinar plan for the next couple of months. As you can see here in February, we're going to be really focusing on elder abuse, starting with the mental and physical, and then the next time on financial fraud and scams. And then we're going to focus a little more on housing in March, particularly on decluttering and relocation, and then some more on affordable housing later. I'm now going to turn this over to Theresa.
Well, thank you for having me here today. I'm going to do a brief presentation just about the new fairs we have here at RTD and some of our fair products, and specifically discounts that are available for seniors. So next slide. Okay, so we conducted a system-wide fare study and equity analysis that lasted from April of 22 to July of 2023. It involves a lot of feedback and surveys and stakeholder meetings with our customer base. And it provided a lot of great detail for us. And the whole goal was to be equitable, affordable, and simple. So simple, we did a lot of things. We lowered our fares, we simplified our products. A big thing we did is reduce the number of fare zones. So if you're familiar with our system, on our light rail, we used to have 3 zones. It would be local, regional, and airport. And then our buses were the same. We had local and regional. And then we also had some sky rides that go out to the airport. So we reduced those fare zones now to just 1 zone and then an airport zone. So our customers don't have to struggle when they're on our light rail trying to figure out what zone they're in. We consolidated our discount fares. So we have a senior 65 and over 50% discount fare. We also have the same 50% for Medicare holders and for individuals with disabilities. And then we have our Live program, which was at a 40% discount and now is at 50%. And I'll talk about the Live program a little bit more in a different slide. So you can go to the next slide, please.
Before you do that, Lisa, can you tell us what counties RTD covers?
Oh, let's see if I can remember them all. I believe there's 8. I know that there's Arapahoe, Adams, Jeffco, parts of Douglas, parts of Weld, Boulder, Broomfield. I think that covers them. I'd have to look to make sure I caught all of them, but I believe there's 8 counties that we cover.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of my employees just sent me the information. Boulder, Broomfield, Denver, Jeffco, parts of Adam, Arapahoe, and Douglas, and then a small portion of Weld County. Thank you. Okay, so here are the new fares for that were effective January 1. And so we have a 3-hour pass, we have a day pass, we have an airport pass, monthly pass, and 10-ride ticket books. And you can see here we have a standard fare and a discount fare. The discount fare, again, applies to seniors that are 65 and older, Medicare recipients, individuals with disabilities. And those discount fares are valid on all of our service. So it covers buses, it covers trains, and it also includes trips to and from the airport, which is something new that we implemented for January 1 as a result of this fare study. So the standard fare, if someone's not eligible for a discount, is $10 to the airport. If somebody is eligible for a discounted pass product, then these discounts that you see here would apply. There are various ways to buy these products as well. We have cash on bus, of course, where you can get the 3-hour pass or the day pass. You can also get the 3-hour day pass and the 3-hour pass and the day pass on our mobile app. And then we have monthly passes available in both paper format and mobile format. And then we have 10-rate ticket books that are in paper only. And those you can all of our paper products can be purchased online, King Soopers and Safeway, or any of our RTD sales outlets. And then we also have stored value. Oh, go ahead.
These fares, are they the same for the bus and the light rail both, or can you
Yes.
talk about that?
Yes. So as I mentioned in the last slide, we've consolidated our fare zones. And so this standard fare and this discount, let's start with the standard fare. So the standard fare is valid on Boston trains. And then you'll notice there's an airport pass at $10 that will get you to the airport. Anyone eligible for a discount pass, those are valid on the light rail, the buses, and the train to the airport.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And as I was saying, there's a variety of ways to buy these passes, as I mentioned. Did you have another question?
No, I don't. Go
Okay.
ahead, please.
Okay. We also have our accessoride service. And so those fares also went down. And you can see one-way tickets $4.50, airport is $19. And then in March, we're going to introduce an accessoride live ticket book. Like I said, we'll talk about the live program. It's our income-based program. So anybody eligible for accessoride and for the live program will now also be eligible for a 50% discount. That goes into effect March 1. All right, so here we are to the live program that I mentioned. We had a lot of changes that went into effect January 1. Like I said, the fares went down, the fare zones were consolidated. The discount passes are now valid on all services, including airport. We also have some changes to our live program. So our live program is an income-based program, and customers apply for this program via the Colorado State Peak site. And if they are approved, they are eligible for a 50% discount. And like I said, this 50% discount that we have does apply to seniors 65 and over, Medicare, individuals with disabilities, and now live customers. So if a customer doesn't fall into the other discount categories, they may be eligible for our live program, and they can apply for that. And once approved, they'll receive a live ID card. We've consolidated all of our discount products. So in the past, we had separate live products. Now that we've consolidated that discount, there's just one ticket book, one paper pass. Our live customers don't have to worry about what product they're getting. It's just a discount product. And I already mentioned it's valid for all of our trips. The other thing we introduced is our live customers can pay with cash on buses and TBMs. That seems like a no-brainer, except for in the past, we did not have tickets on the ticket printing machines on our buses to print the live tickets. Now we do. And now we have some changes to the live program coming on March 1st. So in the program now, it's based on a household income of a federal poverty level of 185%. That will increase to 250%. And we're also, again, introducing this ticket book for accessory customers. Currently, a customer that doesn't live in the RTD district cannot apply for LIV. That restriction will be removed. And we'll be expanding categories for eligibility. Right now, if somebody's already in the peak site, they're categorically eligible if they're receiving Medicaid or SNAP benefits. But those categories will be expanded to many more categories. And we're also expanding the age. Right now, it restricts to anybody between 20 and 64. It will be 20 and older. So that will enable like accessory customers to apply for this program. And I bring this up because there's a lot of people that might not quite be 65 or older yet, but may qualify for this like LIV program. So it's a very helpful program. That concludes my brief presentation. And I don't know if there's any questions that anybody has for me.
I have a couple. So how do people apply for the programs that need to be applied for? I mean, do they go to your website, or how does that work? And how do people learn more about the LIV program? Does that also require going to the website?
Yeah, so let's just start with the discounts in general. So every discount requires some sort of proof of eligibility when boarding our services. So for seniors 65 and older, they can simply show like a driver's license with their age. They can also apply for an RTD special discount, and you can find that in our website. But let's go back to seniors 65 and older. Proof of eligibility could be the driver's license with their age. It can be an RTD special discount, or some people with Medicare can just show their Medicare card. Individuals with disabilities typically apply for our special discount. And maybe Jyotsna, you could put the link to that website on the chat as well, please. And then, of course, LIV customers, they apply through the Colorado Peak site. And so with the link that Jyotsna provided in the chat, you can go visit our website there. It has a wealth of information. There's some resources. You can contact Denver Human Services as well. We have their phone number and email on our website because they do all the approvals for us for this program.
If it's going to increase from 185% to 250% of the federal poverty level, what does that mean in terms of income?
So we're getting ready to post the new income thresholds. They typically come out every April from the federal government. So I don't have those in front of me. I could take a look for those again while we're speaking with other speakers here. But basically there's Justin just said she's getting it, but there's a chart. She didn't know I was going to put her to work today. Anyway, yeah, there's a chart with income thresholds based on household sizes. And so with the increase from 185% to 250%, the hopes is that does allow more people to apply and be qualified.
Okay. And last question before we move on is what's the lead time to schedule an accessoride?
Well, so for accessoride, I know that there was a question, what's the difference between LIV and accessoride? So accessoride is our transit services. So a customer does have to apply for that to be qualified. I don't know how long their qualification process takes, but I believe it does take some time. Once qualified, they have a call center where you just call up and then you book your services. You could typically do it the same day. We encourage people to do it farther out than that if you know you're going to need a trip. And then for the LIV program, that's income based, and that provides a 50% discount on our fares. And then in March, we'll also include our accessoride into that program, where historically that has not been included with a discount.
Okay, thank you. I had a couple more questions, but I'll hold those because we kind of need to move on here at the moment. So our next speaker is and thank you, Theresa. Our next speaker is Lisa Blitzer from Via Mobility. So I know Lisa doesn't have slides, so pay attention. Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
I am Lisa Blitzer with VIA Mobility Services. VIA is celebrating its 45th year in service this year. We're excited about that, and we'll have some updated information about that. Check our website at viacolorado.org about upcoming celebrations, probably more like in the springtime. VIA is a paratransit service, our mission service, door through door, helping people age 60 plus and or have a disability in several areas. So a lot of the Denver Metro, Arapahoe, Denver, Adams, Jefferson counties. We also do Boulder County, Longmont, Lafayette, Erie, let's see, Superior, Louisville, those areas, and then Estes Park within Estes Park for Larimer County, and then a very large piece of Weld County that we do, taking people from Weld County, rural Weld County into Boulder County, Adams County, and even into Cheyenne to the VA hospital. So we cover quite a large area. We are a door-through-door service, so we actually go into the home, cross the threshold, go into the home, and get your coat on, help people out to the vehicle, then take them into where they need to go, whether it's in the hospital, wherever, take them right to the doctor's office. We have fares for our Boulder County area. So it would be $6 within Boulder County for full fare, $3 for reduced fare. We do have some small options for no fare. That is based on income qualifications. In the Denver Metro, the service is free. There is no fare. There's no fare also for Carbon Valley, which is Frederick, Firestone, and Dacono, and no charge for the rural parts of Weld County that we service. Estes Park also has the fare of $6 or $3 for reduced. The need for service for our paratransit is huge. I've never seen anything quite like it in all the years I've been here with VIA, that as people age in place, more and more people are needing our services and other services like VIA. And right now I have an average of 625 people on a wait list that qualify for our services, but I just don't have the funding to put more drivers and more buses out on the road to be able to accommodate and register more people. Our CEO, Frank Bruno, is going tomorrow to the Capitol to go with other people to talk to the Senate about the possibility of getting more funds to meet the need of the transportation out there for seniors for multiple reasons, for housing, for transportation, for food. It's tight everywhere. And so hopefully, along with Dr. Cog and others, that they will be trying hard to get more money to be able to put more funds out there. The population of elderly and people with disabilities is growing substantially, and we have to do something to meet the need that's out there. Let's see.
Lisa, let me interrupt for a second. You should be able to share your screen now. And then the other thing, how does a person qualify for your service? You mentioned qualification.
Yes. So what we do is we have mobility specialists that are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. They would go ahead and call a mobility specialist, and we can register them over the phone. It's just getting information, how many in the household, income qualifications, name, address, mobility type. And then once that's done, it takes anywhere from about 5 to 10 minutes And they're put into the system for the places that we are taking new ridership, which would be Boulder County, Weld County, Carbon Valley, and Estes Park. And then once they're registered, they can go ahead and they can start putting in their trips. They can call the call center, and which is 303-447-9636, and go ahead once they're registered and book their trips by talking to someone at the call center. And that is also Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. They can go online if they're computer savvy, and they can use the user portal and go ahead and request their trip that way, or they can go on our app and go ahead and book a trip that way. And that's all explained to them when they get registered, and they walk them, mobility walks them through the process. And then if we are unable to register, like in the Denver Metro, where we are not currently registering new riders, we can go ahead, mobility will give them other options that are out there depending on where they live and where they want to go and what the cost is, the phone numbers, and we will go ahead and give them all that information, and we can email it to them, we can tell it to them, or we can go ahead and mail it to them so that they have it for their convenience. And I'm seeing questions. Income limit is the same as the poverty guidelines that Colorado has, based on how many in the home and poverty levels. And then what is the lead time for a ride? I see from John, we can schedule 1 to 7 days in advance and even same day if it's available.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. We do provide group trips for seniors. We do that quite a bit. We have grocery trips. We have things like that. We also go ahead and we offer like special contracts, like if a group of people want to go somewhere in Colorado, and they want to be gone for the day, like maybe to a Rockies game or to a football game, or go up and see the fall leaves change, or have a destination in mind, they can call via at 303-447-2848, and they can speak to Denise Dolan, and she handles all those type of requests where you can rent a driver and vehicle or vehicles. There is a cost associated with that. It is $125 an hour. And they will be, the driver and the bus is yours for the period of time that you need the vehicle. And then I'm seeing here transportation options for low income, need a ride to see you in the evening. That would have to be part of our special contract. Unfortunately, the cost is still the $125 an hour. That really covers all of our costs that we need to be able for driver wages and insurance for the vehicles, maintenance and all that. So there's really no special cost. It's the $125 an hour. Let's see, return ride for medical appointments. That can get a little bit tricky, right? Because sometimes doctors run behind. So we tell people when they go ahead and they schedule their trips to go ahead and give the best guess of how long they'll think they're be there, like maybe an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on what you're having done or what you're seeing a medical appointment for. If we get there and you're not ready to go, or the doctor has not seen you, we will go ahead and mark you a will call. And when you are ready to go ahead and give the call center a call, and we will get a driver to you as soon as it's feasible for us to send one that way. Let's see, our largest vehicle holds 26 people. And of course, you lose 2 ambulatory seats for every one person using a wheelchair. So we have some buses that can hold 3 wheelchairs, our big ones. Some hold 2 and some only hold 1, as we have a very diverse fleet. We have Priuses, we have MB1s, we have transit vans, and we have numerous assortment of sizes of body on chassis buses. Let's see, plus Oh, yes, for Joan, yes. The rate for renting a driver and a vehicle also includes from the time the driver clocks in till the time the driver clocks out, which is pre and post check, which is requirement by DOT to be able to perform that, to make sure that the vehicle is working correctly. So that would be in addition to the hours spent having the driver. Let's see, so Boulder County is able to enroll and take on new clients. Yes. Boulder County residents are asked to pay a $6 fee. Yes. Depending on when you register, what your income level is, $6 would be the cost for a one-way trip. If you qualify for reduced fare, that would be $3. And if you want to go town to town, like Boulder to Longmont, Longmont to Lafayette, Louisville, Superior, that would be $12 full fare or $6 reduced fare. Via also does the service for the HOP, the fixed route in downtown Boulder. We've been doing that for many, many years. And we also have the contract for with RTD to do the Flex Ride service. So we do that as well.
What is Flex Ride?
Flex Ride is a public transportation. It is curb to curb. And it stays in its area, like Longmont within Longmont. It stays within its area. And they're all over the Denver metro up here. Let's see, it's in Louisville, Superior, Broomfield, Longmont, and areas like that. And you basically can contact RTD and book the trip, or you can go online and book your trip, and it will take you to the park and rides if you need that to get a different vehicle or to get onto a different vehicle bus to go somewhere else, or it can also take you to where you need to go, like a grocery store or something like that. And there is a cost associated with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
All right. If there's any other questions, put them in the chat, but we're going to move on right now to introduce Dan Blankenship, who is CEO in the Roaring Fork Transportation Authority. So, Don.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Things were working until we all muted up, and then it's not working now. So hopefully everybody can hear. But my name is Dan Blankenship, to start with, not Don Blankenship. Okay, I've called a lot worse. Roaring Fork Transportation Authority is something I want to talk to you a little bit about today. And my agenda is to kind of go over our mission and values, give you an overview of the Roaring Fork Transportation Authority, talk about our fares and services, and then maybe I can handle any questions that you might have. We pursue excellence and innovation, providing preferred transportation choices that connect and support vibrant communities. We have values. They're not uncommon values. We like to be dependable. We like to be affordable, convenient, and those kinds of things, and sustainable. Our service area extends from Rifle in the I-70 corridor to Aspen in the Highway 82 corridor. These blue dots represent member jurisdictions of the Roaring Fork Transportation Authority. And the orange ones are jurisdictions like Garfield County, Silton, Rifle that receive service from RAFTA, but they're not members. They make contributions through grant applications that we submit, whereas the member jurisdictions all have approved dedicated sales taxes and a property tax to help fund the Roaring Fork Transportation Authority. Some of our metrics, we believe we're the largest public transit system, second largest in Colorado after Denver. We believe we're the largest rural public transit system in the U.S., and we opened the first rural bus rapid transit system on September 3rd, 2013. We've received a few awards. We did pass 2.65 mil property tax measure and $74 million in bonding authority for RAFTA to support our Destination 2040 plan. This year, we transported about 4.6 million passengers, covered 5 million miles in the process. We have about 385 employees during peak season. We have 100 large transit vehicles that we use, 22 vans. We had a $61 million operating budget. And as I mentioned before, we have a 70-mile corridor, and then we also have a 34-mile trail that we own in the Rio Grande Railroad corridor, and we've made a hiking, biking, and equestrian trail in the corridor. Our revenue is largely sales tax. That's about 46% of our revenue. Property tax is about 21%. We have service contracts with the city of Aspen, with the city of Glenwood Springs and the Aspen Ski Company, and that brings almost 20% of our revenue. We have a variety of other less major sources. In terms of our expenditures, our transit operations and maintenance represent about 37% of our expenses, and capital is representing about 26%. In 2024, we have a number of major improvement programs and expansion of our maintenance facility, 2 pedestrian underpasses in Glenwood Springs, renovation of employee housing. We bought a motel. I'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about challenges in a few minutes here. Maybe a little quicker than a few minutes. We have about somewhere in the neighborhood of 385 employees. These are broken down by department here. Challenges that we face, we have a shortage of bus operators, and that's driving up our cost of labor. That is also connected with a shortage of affordable housing in our area, and it results in service reductions, and it does affect our reliability when we can't fill shifts. Right now, there's flu, there's COVID, RSV, a bunch of things that are out there that are also affecting our ability to have enough people to operate our service from day to day. So on occasion, we have to eliminate one of the trips or more of the trips that we have scheduled. Inflation is, driving up the price of everything. There are supply chain issues, and construction costs have approximately doubled. So that's making it challenging for us to be sustainable. And there are higher costs going to be associated with purchasing zero emission vehicles so that we can achieve our climate action goal, which is to be net zero by 2050. We purchased a motel in Glenwood Springs, and we're in the process of renovating. It has 42 units. Overall, we probably are leasing somewhere in the neighborhood of about 100 units in the region, in various communities where we can find the space to house our employees, because in the pandemic, we had a lot of people, leave the organization, people retired and what have you, recruiting from the urban areas, bringing people in. They've got no place to live, and the only way that we can get enough people and recruit them and retain them is if we also provide affordable housing for them. Our fare chart here, I'm not going to go into this in great detail, but from Rifle to Aspen, the cash fare is $8. If people use the app or get a discounted short value card, they can cut that down by 25%. There are also discounted monthly passes and seasonal zone passes that people can purchase. And if you go on our website, www.rafta.com, and click on fares, then you will see what the prices of those things are. One thing I will point out is that within each zone from Rifle to Aspen, the service is free. The service is free for senior citizens that are 65 years of age or older who show proof of age with either their driver's license, or they can get a pass from us that we provide them that they can just show to the drivers as they get on the bus. Youths that are from 6 to 18 can ride anywhere in the system for $1. And again, they can ride free within a zone. And then art is getting grayed out here, but we also provide a variety of services. We have the Velociraptor BRT service, which is kind of our premier service. It has a minimum number of stops. It's somewhat competitive with the automobile. We have exclusive bus lanes from the airport and near Aspen into town, and that gets us by a lot of congestion there. And we provide regional commuter services from Rifle to Aspen, make all the local stops. Both the BRT and the regional commuter services are services that for which we charge fares, and I showed you the fare chart. We have municipal transit services under contracts with the city of Aspen and Glenwood Springs. Those services are free. We have a skier shuttle contract with Aspen Skiing Company. We provide service between Aspen and Snowmass Village, Aspen and Aspen Highland Ski Area, Aspen Buttermilk ski area, and those are free. We have senior transit services available in Pickens County, paratransit services, ADA comparable transit services available in Aspen and Glenwood Springs, and we serve the communities in the I-70 corridor and in the 82 corridor with these paratransit services. People have to be assessed to see if they have a disability that prevents them from using the fixed route service in order to qualify for it. We have a partnership with the Forest Service. We do charge a fare for that. We run a shuttle from the Aspen Highland Ski Area up to the Maroon Bells. And then there are a number of events that occur in the region, and service is normally free to those. But we do charge fares on the regional services that get people to and from some of those events. So here are just some pictures of our services. The local bus goes into the towns. It goes into the Blue Lake area around Elgibel, into Basalt, etc., whereas BRT just stays in the Highway 82 corridor, with the exception of a little jog it takes in Carbondale. Carbondale is offline from Highway 82, so we have a BRT station about 3/4 of a mile from Highway 82, and then we run a circulator through the commercial core there to get people to and from the BRT station. That service is free. The Aspen city services are free. The Rifle and Springs service is free. The ski company service is free. And then the Maroon Bell shuttle, we do charge a fare for that. You can make reservations beginning probably in February or March through the end of the season, which is normally the third weekend in October. Here are the prices for senior citizens. The normal discounted price is $10. The fare for adults is $16. If people show up on the day of without a reservation, the prices are slightly higher. And then we provide transportation for things like the X Games. That's coming up this weekend, and every bus in the barn out. We transport as many as about 45,000 passengers in a single day to support the X Games. We have bikes on buses. The bikes ride free. You just load them on the front. We are sponsoring a regional bike sharing program with WeCycle, which is a local nonprofit. We have bike share available different times of the year in different places, kind of spring, summer, fall in Aspen, a little longer in the Mid-Valley area near Basalt and Elgibel. We just started it up in Carbondale. That's going to be a year-round service, and in a couple of years, we'll be implementing service in Glenwood Springs. You can ride these for the first 30 minutes free. Some of them are pedal bikes, but there's a mix of e-bikes too that people can use. We're also helping to fund free microtransit services. Aspen pays for their own, but it's very extensive, and people can use that. They can get an app, and they can call for service and get picked up. Same is happening in the Basalt area, and that service is free as well. Then we have the Rio Grande Trail. And it's in place from the Union Pacific Main Line in Glenwood Springs, runs all the way up as a paved trail to Woody Creek, which is about 8 miles down valley from Aspen. There's a dirt trail that goes into Aspen from Woody Creek, so people can actually ride their bikes from Glenwood Springs all the way into Aspen. And so that concludes my presentation. I really apologize for the technical glitches that kicked it off. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm not seeing anything in the chat here per se. So
Well,
I'll stop sharing though.
and I apologize for saying your name, Dan. So my dad's name was Don, so I guess that's my excuse.
That's okay.
No, it's a shame you have to operate in such ugly scenery up there. You know, it's really too bad. My goodness. I find it fascinating, you know, that I've read about these ski companies having to build housing or rent housing for their employees. I had no idea that you were having to do the same thing. So that's
Well, we have been providing housing primarily during the winter season, just for the last probably 30 years or so. But we used to have a lot of seasonal employees that came in to drive for the winter season when our services ramped up to provide skier shuttles and so forth. And that's our busiest season. But we've found that people are really looking for year-round work. So because we've had so much turnover and we're bringing so many people in from outside the area who don't have homes, no place to live, and kind of like deer in the headlights when they get here. And, you know, we've got to provide that in order to be able to get them here and keep them here.
it's quite an extensive network you have up there. I didn't realize how extensive. So thank you for sharing all that information. It's very much appreciated. I assume this is really a question for all of our panelists. Is Dan, you mentioned drivers shortage, and I think I would like to ask RTD and BIA too about their situation with drivers. So do you want to say anything about that, Lisa?
Yeah, at the beginning, with COVID and everything, and going through that period of time, yes, getting drivers was really hard. Like everyone else, we've had to raise our wages to be competitive and to get people in the door. And right now we're doing well with drivers and getting good quality people in the door. So it's not as much of a problem now as it was a year or more ago for BIA.
Thank you.
Well, we have a union here, and we raised our starting driver wage to $30 an hour from about 25. And we saw a pretty significant uptick in applications after we did that. But again, the challenge is that people are coming in many cases from urban areas, and $30 an hour sounds really good until you get into the resort area, and everything is so expensive. And so the housing is one way that we can kind of mitigate some of the sticker shock they experience when they get here. And without it, we wouldn't have enough help. We need 175 drivers, if not more, to be able to deliver our winter season service levels.
Okay, thanks. Theresa, do you have any comments about that, about the driver situation?
Yes, sure. Well, we need drivers. So we also have a union. We also increased their starting salary. We think it's around $30 as well, starting. We also have signing bonuses of $4,000. And so we've done a lot of different creative recruitment campaigns, including targeting military that are looking for jobs. And we have a lot to fill because, as you know, we have a big district. We operate a lot of buses and a lot of trains. I believe we have something like 1,100 buses. So we have a very big fleet. And so we are still running at slightly reduced services just because we do have a driver shortage. And if you're familiar with our service alert system, if you're not, that's a good thing to go sign up for. on our website, because that will tell you if there's any service disruptions, if there are any canceled trips, and so on. So yeah, like Justin said, if you know anyone that needs a job, we are desperately looking for drivers and mechanics. And I believe cleaning personnel, those are all positions that we are offering signing bonuses to.
Wow. Okay. So Lisa's in better shape than RTD is.
Yeah,
And
we have some, well, yeah, we just because we cover such a big service, we have a huge fleet. So,
yeah, sure.
and,
No,
and,
I totally get it.
and
Yeah.
the hours that we run, yeah, I mean, our rails
Oh
run
yeah, there's
almost 24
yeah,
hours.
you're 24-hour day operation. So which leads me into another question is for both Dan and Lisa, are you 24-hour operations as well?
No, we are not. Our paratransit is Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. The hop, goes from, I believe 7 in the morning till 10 at night. Flex ride about this, it goes from about probably the longest service. It starts around 4 in the morning and goes that by the time the drivers get back in, it's around 11 o'clock at night. But we're not 24 hours, no, and we're not near the size of RTD. They have a huge fleet. Our fleet is much smaller in comparison.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to clarify, not all of our services run 24/7. Some buses do stop running 10 o'clock at night. Like currently during the weekday, our rail services do end around 11 or 12 p.m. 12. So they stop at night. They're not running full time. They go back out in service usually around 3 or 4 a.m. So we do have a lot of gaps there. So
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, our last commuter bus departs the Ruby Park Transit Center in Aspen at 2:20 a.m. It arrives in Glenwood Springs roughly 3:40 a.m. And then our first Up Valley bus from Glenwood Springs to Aspen leaves the barn and goes into service about 4:05 a.m. So we don't have continuous service in both directions in the 82 quarter throughout the entire day, but we are operating in essence about 24 hours a day and 365 days a year with varying levels for City of Glenwood Springs services. They're like 6 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. City of Aspen about 6 in the morning till 2 a.m. and so forth. But our commuter service in the 82 quarter is about a 24-hour day service.
Okay, thank you. And I have one last question for Lisa, and this is just coming from me. I'm just curious. So, not Lisa. I'm sorry, Theresa. Excuse me. So Theresa, I think you have some kind of an arrangement. I know you have one with Lyft as a contract type situation. Do you have something with Uber and Transdev as well?
I believe we have some sort of arrangement with Uber. I don't know if that pilot has expired, but we were doing a pilot for first and last mile. I believe that was
Okay.
down in the tech center. I can certainly follow up and get you more information on that.
Okay.
I do know we have an integration with the Uber Transit and Lyft apps where our customers can buy the RTD tickets and passes.
Okay. And is there something with Transdev too, or not?
I think Transdev is one of our contracted services. I don't know if you're aware, but we do contract out a percentage of our services to contractors, and Transdev may be one of them.
Okay. I was just curious.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. This has been great. Sorry we had a little bit of a technical issue along the way, but we fixed it, sort of. So, and I have let's see a couple comments here. No questions, but thank you all for the comments and thanks for joining us today. Very much appreciated. And you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
bye.